one right here this whole time, by the way.
What's up? Last trick?
Yeah. Live at the Sanctuary.
January 24th.
January 24th, we putting this shit together. You get to see it live. How we
cook.
Go. You know how to do that right.
How we cook.
We about to cook up a whole thing right here. Right now.
Alright, so boom, when you start, so the proposal timeline is like most important because that's how you know like the time frame you have for everything, whether it be questions, the time frame that you can ask questions, and the submission deadline, and the day that the project is due. The day that the project starts, I'm sorry. Right? So because this came out January 13th, we got until tomorrow to ask any questions that we have to the procurement office. And this RFP is for Office of Resilient Homes and Committees, RHC. Okay, RHC.
Office for Home Resilience Committee?
Yeah, Resilient Homes and Committees. Office of Resilient Homes and
This
Committees.
the first one I sent you?
No, this is the second one.
This is
the first one was Urban League. The second one is this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the one you think this is the one.
This one is due sooner than the Urban League.
So HRC Homes and Resilience Committee?
Yeah, Resilience Homes and Committees. Resilient Homes and Committees. I'm sorry, Communities. Resilient Homes and Communities. RHC. I'm gonna make a go skis back. Alright, boom. So the person we can reach out to questions, the person that we have to contact.
POC?
Yeah. Natalie Dinnery. That's who we got to contact. If we have any questions in regards to how long should the RFP how many pages it should be? Any questions that we have? What else? What's an RFP? Can we insert drafts, graphs, pie charts? Do we have to submit a compatibility statement? A compatibility statement is
Capability statement?
I'm sorry, capability statement.
We got that.
You got that.
We got that.
Still, keep saying compatibility. Capability statement. That's lit, man.
Yeah, we got
That's
that.
what I'm saying. All we gotta do is package this.
All we gotta do is put this.
That's
That's all we gotta do is put that together.
All right, boom. Selection criteria, requirements, project experience, key personnel, approach and methodology, a price proposal. All totaling 100 points. So the project experience, key personnel, that's 50. Project experience, key personnel, project experience. Cover letter, executive summary, alright? You got that?
I got an executive summary, but we can brush that. I can brush that up, but that ain't no thing. We got that.
Okay.
We got that.
Iran Divestment Act. Every bid proposal made to RHC pursuant to a competitive solicitation must contain the following statement signed by the respondent and the company letterhead and the firm administrator. By submission of the proposal. Okay. So the project experience a key personnel. Resume for all trainers. No, you got that.
I got my resume. You got your resume?
I have a resume.
So okay. So you got a couple resumes.
Okay, list of minimum of 3 professional resumes.
References. We got that. We got references out the wazoo.
Okay. Letters of recommendation. Easy. From a minimum of 2 former clients.
Oh, that's
Signed, sealed, and delivered.
That's signed, sealed, and delivered.
Description of contracts, background, experience, expertise in providing executive training. Easy. Approach and methodology.
Okay, so that's where we gotta
Construct.
That's where we gotta start constructing.
Approach and methodology.
Include agendas, objectives,
Okay.
and that's that shit that I sent you. That I think that is. Yeah, that's that shit I sent you that I think is it would be real good to kind of use the steer for this.
To put in this. Okay.
At least to like steer, because I
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
What you were saying?
It said aspects of execution of services, which is based on a well-defined timeline for delivery of key goals and objectives, and place emphasis on high standards for delivery of services.
So I got this joint right here for like some DEI work, right? So this is kind of like a rough joint of like the breakdown.
Okay. Everything that's highlighted.
Yeah, I don't know why I did my shit is dark scale, and my guy who sent me his old joint, it was already like that. So
Okay.
you know, this shit's like that if it's fucking with your eyes.
All right, you good.
But like yeah, this shit already. This shit breaks down. You know what we plan on doing, and then we could build a session lab. We can go to sessionlab.com, build out the session lab. You know what I'm saying, and that we put the timing of the workshop, and then we can just itemize each piece, each point in the agenda, and it'll just take away the time. You know what I mean? Like boom, boom, boom. So we can do that. So we got the language. I think that's probably the thing that we probably have to work on the most. Is like,
what do you think? Because it just sounds like to me a written, maybe a 1-page document as to the agendas, objectives, and complete course material. That's it. So that's from start to finish as to what the project is or the workshop.
So you seen that joint I sent you? It was like use this one.
Yep.
So that's gonna be our approach.
Okay.
Right. That's why we want to put that together.
Right.
Then the methodology would be touching on why we're using creative problem solving and intentional breakthrough thinking and how we plan on doing that.
Okay.
That's the the agenda and the objectives and shit like that. So we could I could either wait on Dr. Jason Parker to get back to me on my old joint, the joints I sent to him last week, or we can work on that shit and just figure it out. It's up to you.
I think we gotta work on that joint.
Because we got all the pieces from I asked Tamara for a couple of her templates, so we got those as well. So we can I could show you those. I reached out to her and she was like, "Man, of course." And then I had some from my guy Dr. Firestein that has some joints from other companies that I work with too that we can look at them joints.
Okay. So we got all the pieces to the puzzle. We just gotta put them.
We really gotta put that puzzle together.
Yeah.
We really gotta just put the puzzle all the way together, man. All the pieces is there. That's the shit that Jason Parker would tell me, Moses would tell me, Corey would tell me, like, man, you already got this shit. You know what I mean? Like, you got to put that shit together. And I'm like, man, I don't know what the fuck you talking about, man. I came off the curb.
I
I'm
got
doing the best I can.
Yeah.
So I just sent you 3.
You can't help it.
The ad libs make the moment, man.
Right.
I be trying to tell niggas, man. Oh, come on, she got journals?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Journals, coasters.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow. She got merch for real.
Mm-hmm. Sweatshirts.
Rod Wade was saying, man, when you want to get your RFP satisfied, one of those most important things to look for is that timeline, so you know how much time you got to really digest this joint, get your crew together, understand what your plan gonna be, shit like that. You know what I mean? How to get with your POC, your point of contact. You know, you got, once you get that list of questions, you want to know, like, man, what's the official start time? They got it on there, but certain things you want to start to establish a relationship with that POC, because this ain't gonna be the last time. So you want to make sure that you get in a healthy relationship, healthy rapport built with the point of contact on the other end, so they know who you are, who they talking to, what the company is all about. So that's what we getting all together right now. You know, we staking our claim in the game. Because like I said, you see, whenever I'm doing this we stacking. That's capacity building. And we building this thing all the way up. So, again, you see us in the sanctuary, or you'll see us in the atelier. We always working this thing out. So you see how them joints is going? So that's basically how they want that approach and methodology. And then we put the price and proposal. We could put that on a schedule sheet if need be, or we could just have it all like that. It's just how you know. I'm just thinking, however you see us putting this down is how we gonna put it down.
Okay.
Oh, she's thorough.
Yeah.
She ain't no motherfucking joke.
Right.
She ain't no joke. So one of them joints is her very first joint that she felt like was, you know, might have been too much in one direction or something like that. She was saying, you know, it just looked, you know, really, really thorough to me. But you see, without talking about what your hourlies and all of that, that's how that boiled down, you know what I mean? Is so you can be able to do shit like that. So even if you wanted to just be like, I want to be able to write on behalf with other companies, you know what I'm saying? You would be able to say, this is what I'm, you know what I mean? I charge per hour, and then you could ask, you know, for equity or whatever, you know, do that. See, see, it's so much that I'm learning about this shit that I ain't even really
about me too. You put that about me in there.
Yeah, that was that joint I sent you. I can do that. That's small, you know, the little bios and all those little pieces is golden. Now, if you got if we got to synthesize those pieces together, so we have it for you at the same time, so we can package it together. Because I think most of these joints, I gotta have additional trainers for them. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be something that I can just do dolo. So I'm gonna have to. But the best thing about this world is, you know, my association is so vast that they in the paddock ready. Yeah. They just like, okay, what's the dates? As long as my dates correspond, we're gonna do this.
And then you got the delivery. You're gonna deliver it because you've been doing it for years on now.
Yeah, so that's
what I'm saying. This shit is a walk in the park.
It's a walk. This is the hardest part. And then getting the first one is the absolute hardest, because that's the template from which we'll build everything else off of. So we have to get this first one out, and just to get it out. And the thing is, you want to just get them shits out. You want to keep dotting all your I's and crossing all your T's, but you want to get them shits shipped out immediately. And you want to find out, if you don't get them, with that rapport, why didn't we get it? What were some things that was wrong? Now, not everybody is going to tell you, but from the folks that will tell you, we want to know what that feedback is. So when we come back around again, we know what to repair. We know what didn't work. We know what will work, so we can do those kind of things intentionally to, you know, up our chances of making sure that shit going where it's supposed to go. Because at the end of the day, we getting the monies up front to be able to deliver and service with a partnership that we're trying to have long term, that, you know, might start off with 6 figures that give us an opportunity to leverage to go even further, get different kind of AA qualifications, GSA qualifications, so we can start to get up in these programs and then qualify to be getting $1 million grants at the same time. So that's what that's what we're working on, getting the company paid, getting us paid, and then being able to secure more talent at the same time.
You said GSA?
Yeah.
Yeah, I work with GSA, man.
I already know. When you was telling me that you do all of that with the government contract, I mean, with the military and all that.
Yeah, GSA, TUJA, NCPA.
So I'm a disabled veteran, and this is a disabled veteran-led small business. So we qualified for 20% or 20 points, you know, with satisfying these government contracts, but we also qualify for an additional 6% because I'm a veteran. 20% for being a disabled vet, 6% for being a veteran. Then we minority business owners at the same time, so we get some additional credits for those sorts of things. So this is all those things that we compile and learn and putting together with this here, so we can up our chances. Again, with this one being our first one, we want to be able to get it out, learn for win or lose or draw. We want to be able to establish that rapport, go in, hey, what happened? What did you like? What didn't you like? What might we do differently to qualify for another one? When's another one coming up? What's the chances? Who do we talk to? Are you the same POC? So on and so forth. But it shows a lot to be able to get our capability statement in, as Brother Rod Wade was talking about, and get this completed proposal in. So people know that we're contenders. We ain't playing no games at Phoenix Innovation. So stay tuned,
Stay locked in. That's a fact too, and those relationships are very important. You said you got a relationship at the Urban League, right?
I got a few relationships with a couple.
That might be the golden ticket right there. You know what I'm saying? I can say not any of these other ones aren't, but when it's local like that and you got your feet on the ground, you know what I'm saying?
You active,
POC. Yeah.
And we doing them a favor right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We looking out in the community. We strengthening that by sponsoring, you know, the essay contest. Shout out to all the people that did the MLK essay submissions. We got your, you know what I mean? We read them joints, and we excited to be able to do something like. Well, I'm excited to be able to participate in something like this for the youth. The Urban League would be doing this regardless. You know what I'm saying? I'm just happy to be a part, to be able to give back to the community and steward that kind of growth that we need. You dig? Mm-hmm. So yeah, like you were saying, that is a healthy foot in the door, I'd at least say. And then, you know, once we sit down and kick it, have some tea, chop it up a little further, because I didn't see him. There was already barriers to entry. Certain times, you know what I mean. So like you're saying, that worked out perfectly.
Okay. All right. So the project experience and key personnel. Resume for all trainings, what's the minimum? Professional, okay, you got that boom. So approach and methodology. You think we should take the writing from that you sent me the other day and put it in there?
That's a fact. What you think? I mean, I gotta come to the GOAT with that.
See.
I can resend it if you need me to. So what I be doing is I'm always taking my thoughts, reading some other shit that work, and trying to synthesize my shit to make it look like, or even better than, optimize that shit so we can get going with it. You know what I mean? Because although I know I don't know how to have those to write those RFPs right now, I always wanted to have my shit at the ready. You know, contingency readiness. You know what I mean? So that way, when I do get with somebody like a Rod Wave, that all I have to do is provide all the information, and there's so much information, all we got to do is sort through and figure out what goes where. So I sent Rod Wave, was that last week? Some shit that I had wrote up about a workshop that I deliver that's Innovation Fitness. So that's a branch off of our series of sessions called Innovation Fitness Sessions, which are judgment-free huddles that you or your organization get to participate in all efforts of getting it wrong in order to get it right. You know, so we provide that safe, brave space, judgment-free huddles so that you can really go in, share your ideas, and we can put those into something, develop those into something, and maybe even build out a plan or a product. You know, so we turned that into a workshop from our place called the Burn Award, which is in downtown Buffalo, project that we had down there. So we pulled that out, and we was able to apply that to our coaching framework, and then we were always also able to apply that to our facilitation framework. So what we're doing now is we synthesizing this RFP based off that workshop, which is let me tell you straight up, so that way we ain't got to, I ain't playing no games. So Innovation Fitness, Creativity Cheats to Lead Change and Innovation workshop. And I sent Rod Wave like this, probably 8-inch write-up. Sent it to one of my other friends, and she chopped it up, sent it back to me, and I let Rod Wave decide from there which one was the one that we gonna go with. The long version that I put all, you know, I just was, you know, right, just getting that shit out, or this one that's got optimized a little bit after I sent it off, because of, you know, that was for some work right then and there. So I sent it off, and this is what it came back with. So shout out to Annalisa. She was like, I think this flows a little bit better. So I sent that to Rod Wave, and I think you decided on that one as well, right?
Yeah. This one is it's compacted from what you initially sent. But
Right.
still chunky though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think we should definitely use this for the approach and methodology.
So that's approach and methodology right here. So then all we have to do is build the agenda from there. You build the agenda and build the objectives, like what we want to happen. And I think what we want to happen is that we'll probably be able to start stretching that out. We want to cultivate the confidence to foster a successful and healthy workplace, community, and personal life, because that could be part of the objectives. That's what we have. That's what we have here, and yeah, this proposal right here. I don't know if I sent these to you. So we got activities, these objectives. Okay, by the end of this workshop, participants will be able to demonstrate the following: define diversity, individual lens, understand the importance of agency and inclusions, self-awareness concerning various aspects of diversity, acknowledge what it takes to be a global citizen. So that's what we gotta get at. That's what we gotta hammer out from that, what you read and that right there. At the end of this, what do we really want people to understand? So I am a one-trick pony. You know that. I'm gonna say something lofty that I think people understand, which they don't. So this is why I like having other people to bounce shit off of. So one of the objectives that I want people to walk away from this shit with is a stronger wielding of creativity. Creative problem solving. And either change leadership or change agency. Okay? But that's one objective. How that's written right there, in my opinion, that's not what they looking for.
Why would you say that?
Is that what they looking for?
I think that's what they're looking for.
Okay, so that's objective one then. Shit.
Right there.
Alright. Okay, what's another objective? What do we want to come out of that? So this is good for our minds to come together as having the backgrounds that we have, yours being in business concentration in business, focus, and mine being in, psychology, sociology, and then this creativity aspect. What would you think for leadership is some of the best objectives that will come out of this workshop? And that shit that we got written, specifically that shit that we got written right here. Because we taking them on a journey based off of those things.
Mindfulness skills, peer model, problem solving skills, emotional creativity, reliable creativity process, effective leadership, optimize growth.
So intentional think something about intentional thinking. Objectives we want them to have after this is something around intentional thinking when it comes to mindset, because we want people to understand that whatever mindset that they choose is by means of their option, like their attitude. You know what I'm saying? So if your attitude is shitty and your conditioning has been what it is, you likely gonna follow that mindset for whatever it is. But if you come in with a positive mindset, you come in with a culture of change, you're willing to take in, you know what I'm saying? So optimization of intentional thinking.
Yeah, I like that.
Should I put like semicolon understanding divergent and convergent thinking, or is that a separate objective? That's a separate objective? Hopefully everybody all right, man. God damn.
You go so hard, man.
Damn. Okay, so awareness of dynamic balance. And divergent and convergent thinking. Okay. And then at least one more ride wave.
Foster a successful and healthy workplace. Foster a successful and healthy workplace.
So that's this portion, and so not awareness. I need a word like awareness. Maybe understanding the relationship between the leader and the environment. Something around that. Something around understanding the relationship between the leader and the environment and the impact that that leader has on steering, you know, if efficient or optimal results, outcomes, outputs, shit like that. Because some of these might have to change, right? Because stronger wielding of creativity, creative problem solving, and change agency, optimization of intentional thinking. You know, some of these is the same already, right? So awareness of dynamic balance and divergent thinking is one that I think is super solid.
Okay.
Between these two, this one might be the one that can stay, right?
Okay.
Optimization of intentional thinking,
Okay.
but we could say via the means of, you know, creative problem solving and, you know, deliberate creativity. You know what I'm saying? So this one right here is a good idea to get us started, but I think that these two present to be
awareness of dynamic. Is balance?
yeah.
Okay. Awareness of dynamic balance and divergent thinking.
I'm gonna send. I don't think I sent that shit to you right away, but I keep saying that.
Okay. 6 pages of goodness.
This shit ain't gonna overload your shit, is it?
Nah.
I'm gonna show you. This is the shit I've been fucking with, just tinkering with at the crib. You know, fucking with my man, Dr. Jason Berger, man. He put me up to the challenge, like, yeah, we building these modules, man. But he, like a lot of other folks, is just like, yo, you cunning, man, you smart, you gonna be able to finish it, you know, figure that shit out. And it's like, I don't even know what the half or what the fuck I'm starting, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate the vote of confidence.
When it comes to some shit like this, I have to, like, piece this shit together in my head.
You gotta see it.
Like, yeah.
Like a wardrobe.
Like a wardrobe, bro. Starting from the ground up, from the feet up. You know?
I'll send you these joints too. I paid for one, and then shout out Cindy Burnett. She paid to get some other joints done too. It's always good to have resources, man. People in your corner that want to see you win, man. Shout out to everybody that was at the leadership award dinner the other night. They had signs up for me, right? Way to go, Najja, at the table, made me new friends and all kind of shit. Cause they like, if people love you like that, they come and they made signs and all kind of shit like that. Something must be special about you. And my man C Double like, yo, man, it's time, man. We got to get more money, man. I'm telling you. Like, man, all we do is keep our head down and work, man. That's it. That's all that there is too, dude. You dig? Fuck what you heard. I'm loading you up right away. Just two more.
Okay.
Two more. Gotta send that shit to you. I'm sending him my executive resume and my executive cover letter. So he, you know what I mean, and keep it fresh in his mind that we gotta have that shit out. And look over my shit. I look over your shit. Let me know if it's something I might be missing. You know what I mean? See, this is what collaboration looks like in real time. Collaboration is the new competition, and you want to be able to find those folks that you can collaborate with in real time. Skill sets. Last time we was up in here in the sanctuary sipping wine, talking that shit. I had cranberry. He had wine. You know what I mean? Last time we was in here talking that shit, we was talking about skill sets. You know what I'm saying? And how important it is to be able to acknowledge what skill sets you had, where they add value, and how to be able to apply them shits deliberately. You know what I'm saying? So this is what our attempt in being able to do. We've been talking about this shit, riding bikes and shit on the trail for years, but the timing as it would have it, this is our first time really sitting down in the lab and putting this shit together the way we doing it. So instead of, you know what I'm saying, just letting the moment go by as we normally do, we trying to capture it in real time. And shout out to that was brother Keith who said that, wasn't that? Wasn't that Keith who said that in the group chat?
What did he say?
That was like, yo, record that shit.
Oh yeah.
So shout out Keith, man. You know what I mean? Because it was a great idea. I wasn't even really thinking about that. And this gives us a chance to be able to add more content to our Phoenix Innovation platforms all over the place, you know what I'm saying? So this is what it looks like to be winning with Phoenix Innovation. It is now 9 o'clock at night after a full work day for the both of us. He was like, man, pull up to the sanctuary. We're working on that shit tonight. So what we doing, man? You know what I mean? Entrepreneurs, man, we don't just really take no time off. It's adventurous. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what we doing, you know what I mean? I was at the bill chilling, and already was unwinding, smoking, watching me some Star Trek, as y'all know. You understand? And my brother was like, man, pull up now, we here, let's go. Man, got up threw my vines on real quick. You know what I mean? This shit, here we at. Here we go. One more, my way, or two more. Two more. At least just ideas. Let's just get some ideas. 2 more ideas up there.
You said you wanted to. You crossed that one out, but you said you wanted to somehow.
I blended it.
Okay.
So optimization of intentional thinking via means of creative problem solving and deliberate creativity. Okay. I think that was a better way of saying that. And I think another easy bullet is to focus on the leadership aspect. You know what I mean? And how that also ties into being, you know, intentional. You know what I'm saying? So maybe
acknowledgement.
Because I don't know if I'm gonna have room for the discovery of core values in the conversation, because it's a 90-minute workshop. That's more of the immersion joint that we're gonna be doing in DC.
Okay.
That immersion joint in DC help me be a process buddy on, and that's gonna be 6-hour joint. That's gonna probably break out into an 8-hour day.
Okay.
You know how we putting that shit together like that. Then we can design. We got the design for that already to be able to include what your core values are, shit like that. So.
Okay.
I'm just thinking about the tools that we have that help with leadership. So, like motivation, right? Like, I'm gonna quickly ask, like, how can I maintain motivation? That's like a big question today.
Morale, right?
Like motivate. Like, how do I maintain motivation to keep my energy high, even when I don't feel like being at work or I'm distracted, I want to do other things, whatever, right?
Okay.
So one thing that I've learned in, you know, just in my discipline of building for leadership development is understanding that value multiplied by expectation equals motivation. Right?
Value multiplied by expectation equals motivation.
Equals motivation. So
All right.
we know motivation breaks down into two different things, which is intrinsic motivation and then extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation being that quick burning fuel. You know, do this, I give you a pair of sneakers, or I give you a paycheck. You know what I'm saying? Intrinsic motivation being those things that you heart, that you kind of move by spirit with, like, you know what I'm saying? I like going to be involved in the community because it just makes me feel good to be of service to my community and knowing that I'm contributing to something better. You know what I mean? That's an intrinsic motivation. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that this is contributing to something better, and I feel that, right? But we can't even get to here without knowing what we expect from this thing. And expectation is something that people usually sully up over the years by thinking it mean what they think it mean, right? But the best way that I can usually sum that up is when you got a niece, nephew, little cousin that loves you, and their birthday comes around, and the first thing that they're going to expect from you, this person that they heart at a high degree, is a gift, right? And if they don't get that gift, then we don't know what happens, but something is going to happen within the dynamic of your relationship because the expectation wasn't met, right? So maybe now the quality in your relationship kind of starts to wane because the things that had built this high level of energy exchange between you two no longer exists, right? Or it's no longer being satisfied, let's say that. So then within that same relationship, okay, well, what's the value there? The kid doesn't know what the value, because it's just not there yet, right? But you, is the leader in that situation, you understand that the value is not only do I get to steward the growth of the youth in my section and in my, you know, my survey, I'm also able to have a very close connection with them, you know what I mean, which is going to blossom into a phenomenal relationship between the two of us. They know that they can come and rely on me. They know that they can talk to me about anything, and vice versa. I know I can talk to them and get ideas from them. It's not, you know, one way, right? So you establish that level of value within a relationship as the leader, right? With knowing what the values are now you can kind of lean on those expectations deliberately, right? Birthdays coming around and you know that you want to keep a grip on this youth that's around you, then I'm going to make some time and I'm going to make some money to make sure I can go and do this. You know what I mean? To keep that grip tight, because they may not even know, right? So now I'm going to take you out for your birthday. And I got a little couple dollars for you. So now 365 roll around and I'm going with uncle, cousin, brother, ride wave again. Expectation is high or low? It's high, right? So now that means that they're going to be supremely motivated to hang out with you anytime you call, because this equation is met, right? They start to learn what the value is by what you say to them, how you treat them. And then they learn what the expectation is of not just like the gifts or whatever, but just those perks of when I hang with him, I feel better. You know what I mean? Like, he's amazing company. They starting to piece that together for themselves. So that increases the motivation to say, man, I couldn't wait to see you again, big bro, or big dog, or big aunt. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So how do we get that to translate into one of the objectives? Understanding motivation, or understanding what leadership does to the culture, organization, change, what change might look like.
Conscious efforts to motivate. Conscious efforts to motivate the organization.
So remember, one thing to remember is at the top of this right here, which we don't see, is invisible. It says, objectives: by the end of this workshop, participants will demonstrate the following. An optimization of thinking via means of CPS and deliberate creativity. And then they're going to be able to also demonstrate awareness of a dynamic balance and convergent and divergent thinking.
Okay.
And we want them to demonstrate
motivation through.
I'm thinking demonstrating understanding of leadership and the impact on the environment. So a demonstration of how deliberate, or the demonstration of, we'll be able to demonstrate the following. Define leadership. Define leadership through their own lens. And the impact that their definition has on their relationship with the environment. So let me write it out. Let me write that out. Define leadership for own individual lens, right? And impact this impact and the impact of leadership or in relationship define leadership for own individual lens and relationship of leadership on, or relationship of leadership with environment. See how tricky this shit get? And I guarantee you, once I send it to people who has got approved, that shit gonna get whipped again. Like, okay, so what do you mean by that? What is that saying? You know what I'm saying?
Define leadership on individual lens through own individual lens in relationship.
You got this though. Value times expectation equals motivation. Remember that. See, this painter's tape works. It's just genius. What 3M was able to do with that. Look how that shit just chill.
When did we work with? We work with 3M too, man.
It's Providence, bro. You know what I mean?
These 3M strings right here. I got the tape.
The blue blocker?
Huh?
The blue blocker screen protector? Like the eye protector screen?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That stuff that we got to be aware of in facilitation, that especially during COVID when, you know, in person was down, virtual was up. You think you just gonna be able to sit on that motherfucking computer all day? Right. Hell no. You can't do that shit. Ain't no more cussing on YouTube, is it? Chill.
That's what you say.
I gotta chill, B. All right, let me get one more round. Get one more about you, pause. One more objective. So we can take this back. Be like, man, y'all see what we doing, man. We ain't playing with these niggas, man. Wait, one more. So, okay. All right, so objectives.
To deliver.
So it's got to be in that kind of format, right? So like it's gonna be a colon. You know what I mean? So objectives by the end of this workshop, participants will demonstrate the following. Resourcefulness, acknowledge the resourcefulness required in being a change agent.
Acknowledge the resourcefulness
Required
in being a change agent.
What you think?
Required. Say it again. Required.
Acknowledge the resourcefulness required in being an efficient change agent.
Yeah.
Just something that's down at least. Acknowledge resourcefulness required and efficient change agency leadership. What was the next thing we had to get down, right way? Cause God's love is free. The silver line. What will be. What'd you say? I was trying to see where we was at next.
Oh. So, agenda's objectives, complete course material.
So the course materials is like the session lab. We like to build a session lab out and be able to put in what activities we programming in there and shit like that, and for the timing. So that's something that's a small thing that we have to do too.
Price proposal.
It's inclusive of fiction and pricing as we provide it. So this is where we have to really understand how many workshops it is, like how what are they really asking, so that way we can put that math together. We was talking about earlier, hourly rate, my hourly rate. You know, I mean, how many sessions? So unit price, 8-hour training, right? So we have to see what the budget is, of course, right? So if the budget was a wide berth, then I'm charging $7.50 an hour.
Okay.
Right? If not, then we're going with $250, and we're gonna make it a $2,000 a day.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So then, now the number of executive training sessions, total not to exceed. So we have to figure that's on here somewhere. So we have to figure out what they budget is, so we know exactly what to put in there, and then we can go down here. Rodney Chapman, title, hourly billing rate, right? So we know exactly, because it's gonna be based off of that template, so we have to, we have to put all that in there. Then I would want to have somebody in there if we could. I want somebody that's gonna be, so if it's virtual, the 8-hour virtual, I got somebody that we can hire that'll take care of building out the mural, have the breakout spaces all set up and all that kind of shit at the same rate. So we'll be able to put them in there, as a part of making that shit be successful. So we got that, you know what I'm saying? We have that, my man, Dr. David Yates.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He'll take care of that. He specializes in that, we just have to meet his terms.
Okay.
We have to know what this budget is for this. But we also, we got to get this. You got it?
No. You got yours?
Yeah. No, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
I don't. You gotta have it. I got all my paperwork started, but you gotta have an actual project contract that you can put that, you can submit that with, to show that you own this kind of shit. So I got my disabled veteran credits, as we was talking about.
That's good. That's good though.
Yeah, but that's more of a federal thing. You know what I'm saying?
So
when it comes to the state joints, you could, but that's they asking for that specifically. You know what I'm saying?
That's a
When it
question.
when it comes to state joints, we could, but that joint ain't. They told me in the past that joint don't really. Yeah, it's more of a federal thing. That's why Corey and I are hopping on that other opportunity with the contract and shit. We need to get you in there on that too.
So because you don't have this, is this gonna put a halt?
This one? But see, that's the thing. If we're able to submit, so we got the paperwork on standby with Mike McCarley and Dr. Sue McCartney at the Small Business Development Center. So all we would have to submit that with the package to show that we need this in order to put that through. You know what I mean? Now that don't mean that we gonna get it, but at least they know that we already. We just, this is the part of the requirements. We need this in order to be able to get that all the way signed off. You know what I mean?
Opinion to understanding and offer disclosure of various forms of information.
Shit itching, man. If you're wondering why I'm doing that, that's a cultural thing, man. Your shit itching, you don't want to fuck your hair up. You know what I mean? Instead of doing that, instead of scratching all in your shit, messing it up, you kind of like give it a light little pat and try to, I got that from black women, man.
Yeah, you know this how they go. Man, so what you thinking?
So the things we need to get on top of right now is the numbers. Right? We need to understand what the numbers is so we can kind of, break that down and see what kind of help we'd be able to get.
Because this is, like I said, it's score out of 100 points.
Project experience, key personnel, that's us, plus maybe potential Dr. David Yates, approach and methodology, another 30. And I think that's the part we might be able to knock out the part the most, the approach and methodology, the project experience and key personnel. We got hella experience putting these shits on that I'm not really worried about that at all. With my associations with larger firms, I'm not really concerned about that. But I also want to get this price thing down together too, because do they got it in there? Like with it ain't nowhere in there? Even at the top, that this joint is a. Remember the other one had 150,000 on there. It has to be on there because we have to be able to reach out and ask them when they ain't nowhere. I like to go back through it and comb through. I'm not even seeing no numbers as of right now. rate for each title. A single blended rate cannot be proposed. Prices include proposal form should be respondent's lowest discounted governmental prices. The individual who signs a proposal cover page should be, so that's going off of that. Probably that. Remember we were talking about that 750 if it was high, 250 if it's so that if we going off of that, then we have to just put those in there. So that'd be $2,000 day. Unit price discount would be from the 750. You know what I mean? One session total price would be so I don't know. See, I don't know. I gotta get some help with that. I gotta get some help because I don't know. Because what I'm thinking is that's not for me, right? This down here, in addition to the not to exceed total proposal price above, identify all persons being proposed for our RFP scope so that we can better understand the respondent's financial approach to the project. So that'd be me, you, Dr. David Yates, project lead, your producer, or project management, or he, and Dr. David Yates is the producer, and we all got our hourly rates. You know what I'm saying? So say it's $250 per pop for WAP. That's a 750 joint. So 750 times 8 is six and some change, almost 7,000.
750 times 8.
Might be more than that. I'm tripping. Yeah, 6,000. $6,000 a day because that's my daily rate. So that'd be 6 bones for one day. But then if we went, we'll see what will be. It depends on what your maximum is. What Dr. David Yates' maximum is. My maximum is $750 for the day. I mean per hour for the day. You know what I'm saying? So if you say,
how can I gauge that?
I don't know. That's just something that you know, your years of experience, break down your salary now, add years of experience, and you say, okay, if I came out of graduate program, I'm charging $150, $200 an hour, right? So you break down your number per, you break down your salary to the hour right now. This gross number, we'd be able to
gauge it better.
Yeah, way better. You know what I mean? So say you getting paid $60 an hour right now, or $100 an hour, gross. Then if I was coming out of the program, I was making $150 an hour. How long you been out the program? So how many years of experience you got outside the program? Being in the field. 4 years. So if you gave yourself, $25, $50 raise, depending on how that goes, however you feel for every year. So let's say it's $25 raise. That's $250. Right. So then now I know I'm getting $250 an hour with doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
You said that shit. I had 2 cents in my head.
You see what I'm saying? So now how I get $750 is my years of experience, and running the company price and all of that, right? So I might still get my $250, but the company gets an additional $500 on top of that, right? But that's just me working with the joint. So because of the company with consulting, right? Like having your own spot, you always want to make sure your firm getting paid too, because you gotta secure talent, you gotta pay for supplies. Some of that shit is on the front end. So you might have to pay for expenses. You never know. You want to make sure that the company got some money in and that you getting paid too, right, at the same time. So. So I gotta ask questions on that to get that to get that part ironed out. But I'm gonna try to I'm gonna try to get this all focused up. I'm gonna try to get that typed up.
We got last day to ask questions is tomorrow. Unless you wanna
With
go
this,
outside to ask questions, or outside of this, you're gonna ask somebody what you know. That's already got their foot in the game.
see, I didn't know that. I was thinking that this was the
Urban League joint.
yeah. But I want to take a look at that Urban League joint too, because we might not be able to get this joint because of that certification.
Okay.
As we get ready to bring this thing to a close, I want you to think about the value that's been presented here today, and just being able to have a raw and uncut behind the scenes, watching the mastermind go to work on putting our dreams together, you know what I mean, helping other people escape poverty and increase leadership with deliberate creativity, man. You know, when you get to talking about creativity, most people think we're talking about the arts. They never consider creativity as a science, or ever even heard of the creative problem solving process. But if out there you're a design thinker, you do work in agile thinking or agile mindset, all of those things are deeply creative problem solving is deeply embedded in all those things, right? So creative problem solving is the research that birthed all those other different types of thinking, you know, Six Sigma, you know, like I said, design thinking, agile thinking, all those things come out of that research. You know what I mean? So think about what is your own personal takeaways. Write those things down. You know what I mean? It might have been just some things within the process that will help you be more efficient in terms of outcomes, teamwork, shit like that, or stuff like that, outside of having some more structure around what it means to be able to put up an RFP. So if some of you all are working on RFPs, you know what we actually going through and what we working through right here today. Some of you all that's just tuned in just to see what we up to next, you might not have an idea of what's going on. This is one of those things that comes with conditioning, right? Like you have to be doing this in order to understand what's going on here. If you ain't never watched football or played football, you ain't gonna be conditioned to know what a nickel 43 is. I don't know what that shit is. I don't even know if I'm going to right play. But you know, a dime slant and all that. You know what I mean? So like, you know, them niggas got their millions. You see us, we trying to get our millions right now. You heard me? That's what this shit is. That's what this requires. So you know, if you ain't in that, you ain't versed in that, then you ain't gonna know what's going on. You ain't versed in this, then you ain't gonna know what's going on. Just sit back and enjoy the show and watch the camaraderie of two brothers, you know, building and putting it together and showing you the director's cut of what this shit looked like in real time behind the scenes, and then measure our growth in a year's time and see if we still doing the same thing, talking about the same thing out of the same spaces. You dig? Hold us to that.
It's the Urban League joint. A lot less streaming.
It seemed like that. The lifting seemed like it's way different.
It's one page.
Just from this alone.
The other joint was 8 pages.
The component conveying understanding the purpose, express the outcome. Writing consultant name.
This joint is light.
Work plan, detail, consultant approach to strategic planning. So this one is more about strategic planning. Cause, inclusive planning, research, facilitation. Oh shit. Designing and implementing comprehensive strategic planning processes with the focus of diversity. So them all the joints I just sent you. But you an expert in strategic planning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we doing, man?
He's That's what I
I'm
said.
an expert in strategic plan. So like, what are we?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like that's what I'm saying. They throwing money at us right away.
That's why I said this one is gonna be a green light automatically. And then the time frame that we got for the scope of work timeline is it just came out a couple days ago. It was last week.
So we really want to have this shit done by February 8th. Really the 7th, but the 8th, because the 8th give us the last day to be really able to ask questions about what we built. Then, you know what I mean, they got the virtual Q&A, so we can take all that shit from the last questions to the virtual Q&A to be able to ask any little shit that we ain't get from there, go back and tweak that shit and hand it in. Because the deadline is on the 28th of next month. And I think we got a way better shot with that one.
That's what I know. That's what I know.
And that might not require this. That's gonna require a totally different plan. That's just something that we'll be able to whip up with strategic plan. It's something you might even have in your notes already.
Easily.
Let's do that.
All I gotta do is formulate and put everything together.
Let's do that. We come back again on the next one and show y'all how to put together this, the proposal for a strategic plan. This one here is for a workshop. We about to, next time we get together, we're gonna come straight at you with gym clothes on again. You see how we doing? Want to work out on how to build your proposal for a strategic plan. You understand what I'm saying? Ebony, you know what I mean? Ebony's Finest, Jet Magazine, Man of the Year. You heard what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to everybody at Euphoria that, you know what I mean, came out representing the men of integrity. You know what I mean? Gave us those leadership awards, made us feel like $1 billion up there, man. So that's needed within the community. We need more of that. You know what I mean? Rod Wave up next with his joint. Man, just shout out to everybody that's working with us, helping us build this thing out, man, and continuing to subscribe with us, man. And feedback is everything to make this thing keep growing. So holla at us. Till then, peace.